Okay, we're streaming live. This is Mayor Sean Patterson Howard, and I am, as the chairman of the IDA, I am calling our May 14th meeting of the IDA into session now. Mike Curdy, you can begin.
Thank you, Mayor Howard. The first item on the agenda is the adoption of the April 16th, 2020 minutes. Are there any questions with regard to the minutes?
No questions on my end.
Okay.
I have none.
Great. If would someone like to make a motion adopting the minutes?
To adopt the minutes as presented.
Motion by Dr. Morton. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Johnson. If all in favor can indicate by saying aye.
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 Is there any opposition? There being none, the motion is carried. I did forget to ask for a roll call, so I could just go through and announce everyone's name, and if they can indicate by saying present. Mayor Sean Patterson Howard.
Present.
Dr. Morton.
Present.
Councilman Griffith.
We need you to unmute, Marcus.
Yeah, Marcus is on mute.
Present.
There we go. Thank you.
Mr. Johnson.
Aye. Present.
Ms. Vanderpool.
Present.
Mayor, all members are present.
Thank you. You can proceed with the agenda.
There being no new business, we'll move on to old business. And there are two resolutions that are before the board this morning. The first resolution relates to various invoices, and I'll defer to Julie Marshall to give an update on the board as to those invoices and some of the things that we've been working on since our last board meeting.
Can't hear Julie.
Julie, can you make sure that you've joined with audio?
Yeah,
She's connecting now. Hold on one second. It'll give you a moment and then you'll be in.
Mayor, if you like, I can address the second resolution since it relates to legal matters.
Okay, I think Julie, no, she's still not.
No,
still
no.
Okay, if you could proceed with the second issue,
So
Mike.
she may have to use the phone and
Okay,
call
thank you.
She's gonna have to
So
call
the
in
second
using her
resolution
phone.
before you is a
That's her
resolution appointing certain
Hold on,
agents of
Michael.
council.
Hold on, Michael, 1 second. Julie,
Sure.
you might have to use the call-in phone number. It seems like your computer audio is not connecting, so if you can please use the dial-in number. Thank you. Okay, Michael.
Okay. Thank you, Mayor. The second resolution that's before the board today is for the appointment of special counsel to handle two litigation matters. One litigation matter relates to litigation with the Mount Vernon School District involving the uniform tax enforcement policy or tax exemption policy. And the second litigation is a matter that's currently pending in federal court that involves previous Mayor Richard Thomas. With regard to the school litigation, that matter is being prosecuted in New York State Supreme Court. That matter was referred to our office. However, we do have a conflict. So the Oxman Law Group will be handling that matter on a prospective basis. There is a conference scheduled next week in New York State Supreme Court with regard to that matter. And there'll be a report from Mr. Buckley after that conference to the board. Insofar as the second litigation is concerned with regard to former Mayor Thomas, the firm of Smith, Buss and Jacobs previously handled this matter until they were terminated by former Mayor Wallace. They do have quite a bit of knowledge regarding the matter, and they were able to get a number of the claims dismissed. And so in the interest of economy, they are proposed to be re-engaged.
Okay.
Are there any questions from the board? There being none, is there a motion to adopt the resolution appointing special counsel?
I make a motion to adopt the resolution to hire special counsel.
Motion by Mr. Johnson. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Dr. Morton. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
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 Any opposition? There being none, the motion is approved unanimously. Hopefully Julie's back on with us and can talk a little bit about the first resolution, which relates to the invoices.
Julie, are you using your phone? We can't hear you at all.
So
Is your-
maybe the phone isn't turned up? Is your phone on silence or? Oh.
She's like, no.
Okay, so I can pinch hit on the invoices if that's okay with everybody.
Okay.
Okay. The next item regards certain invoices that have been accruing with regard to the agency. One is for legal services. There was a slight discrepancy between the invoice that was provided previously, I think of about $100 or thereabouts. So Dr. Morton correctly asked us to amend the resolution to reflect the invoice for legal services. In addition, there are a variety of different charges that have accrued since our last meeting, and this would authorize payment of those charges. We have successfully been able to work with ADP to resolve the pending claim that was against the city of Mount Vernon for some of the work they did for human resources purposes, payroll and what have you. What we were having some difficulty dealing with their collection agency. We were able to reach out to general counsel and they terminated the collection agency and they waived all the interest and penalties that were owed. So we are now in a position to pay those amounts so that we can receive the records and also work and negotiate with the Workers' Compensation Board and also New York State to resolve any liens that are outstanding against the agency.
Okay.
Are there any questions?
No questions.
Okay. Is there a motion to adopt the resolution?
I make a motion to adopt the resolution.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Johnson. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Griffith. If everyone can indicate their approval by saying aye.
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 Is there any opposition? The resolution is adopted unanimously. The last item on our agenda is updates from agency counsel. There's one update from agency counsel as it relates to the 2018 audit. We've prepared a management letter to be provided to Ms. Galliero so that she may conclude the 2018 audit, and that can be posted on the ABO website. We've also been working diligently to update our Paris reports, and Julie has been in contact with the authority's budget office to that end. The only question I have for Dr. Morton is, did you have an opportunity to speak to the mayor regarding the management letter, and can we send that out?
Yes. Yes, I'm fine with the management letter and it can be sent.
Okay, great. So we'll do that. I'll also note that we did issue the RFP for a new audit firm. We expect the responses to come in for June 1st, and hopefully we can pick a new auditor at the next meeting in June to complete the 2019 audit and finalize the Paris reporting for calendar year 2019, bringing the agency in compliance with the requirements of both the Public Authorities Law and also the General Municipal Law.
You know, I just want to say, Michael and Julie, thank you for working so diligently with the IDA. I think this is the first time that we will be brought fully into compliance with our Paris reports, with our audits, as well as with our policies and procedures that we adopted over 20 new policies and procedures, bringing us up to date and into compliance with New York State. So in just 4 months, let's say more like 3 months, we've been able to bring the IDA out of being several years out of compliance with New York State into compliance and ready to move forward to take care of the business and the economic development for the city of Mount Vernon. So thank you very much. And thank you to all of our board members for working so diligently, and to our treasurer for being an incredible liaison with our council.
Thank you, Mayor.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. It's been an honor.
Okay. That concludes agency council reporting. And at this point in time, is there a motion to conclude the meeting?
So actually, just before we take that motion, just want to just give you a little quick update. So I've had the chief accountant in the planning department working on some of the financial information that Julie has been asking for, namely to try to complete the last piece of the audit, the information that the auditors requested. In addition, we've been going through all of the accounts. I want you to note that we did identify that there were 3 escrow accounts that had become stale. And so they weren't listed on our bank account, in our bank registry. So we've just had the bank to reactivate those 3 escrow accounts, because at first we thought there was about $100 and some odd thousand missing, but we found out that it's not missing. It just was in these 3 stale accounts. We're doing that, as well as I have him also trying to do the reconciliations to get a complete update on the pilot payments, those things that have been outdated, those things that have not been paid, what has been paid, so that we can make sure that we forward over to the city and the county whatever it is that we have appropriately. And so I want to note for the board and the public that we have not been sitting on pilot payments. We've been actually working through all of the, I guess you say, minutia, the crazy, the documentation, the lack thereof documentation.
Lack thereof documentation.
Lack thereof
Let's be clear.
Right, to make sure that we know exactly what we have and what exactly is owed. This has been like searching for Waldo in a non-existent jungle. We've kind of pieced it together. So just want to make sure that you know that. That's 1. 2, I participated yesterday on the training for ABO, the Authorities Bureau, Budget Office. And just want to make sure we remind the board that, because the meetings in which you were scheduled to participate were canceled. So now they're doing them virtually. I will tell you it was insightful. So I'll give you all of the information.
You know,
Is this, I'm sorry, is this a training that they archive? Or it was just
I don't know if they archived the video, but I know that because you have to, there's a form you got to sign at the end of it. So they take the attendance in the beginning and end. But there is the PowerPoint, which is what I'm going to pull down and get off to the board, because there was some very interesting and important information about how we as the board need to operate. One of those things, namely, not necessarily for this board, but for the other board that some of us are on, is that, listen, when you have a fiduciary, when you have a ex officio appointment to a position, you cannot abdicate that responsibility no matter what. So
no matter what.
Right. So even if you don't show up, or if you designate, if you identify a designee, like, you can designate a designee to go to the meetings and act in your stead. You cannot tell that designee how to vote, but you are still responsible for everything that designee does and what goes on in the board. So
I think on one of those boards that I had made that very clear a couple of years ago, that you cannot just ignore your responsibilities on the board. When you are ex officio member, if you don't agree, then you have to create a record of dissent. You're still a fiduciary. You can't just ignore that. Sorry, Mayor.
Oh, no, I'm absolutely fine with it. Like I said, I'm just glad that we have a team that is handling the business of the IDA and our municipal authorities, that we are getting the proper training, that we have the proper legal counsel, that we are bringing our accounts into order and up to date. Because for accounts of the city of Mount Vernon or our municipal authorities to go stale is criminal, and just shows that it's not necessarily criminal, punishable by law. I'm just saying it's irresponsible. As people who sit on these boards, you, as we've stated, are the fiduciaries of this, and how do accounts go stale under your watch? And so, like I said, when we reconstituted the board back in January, we had a lot of work to do, as work had not been touched for months. A board had been disbanded and there was no board in place. So in 3 short months, a lot of work has been done to address 2 years of lack of reports and to get our audits up to date. We are in 2020, and so 2019 audit will be started as we close out the 2018 audit, and we sign off on that. And so we will be current with that done, and we will be current as we put in our 2019 Paris report. So again, in a very short period, much of it for which we cannot meet face to face because of COVID, this work has been done. And I just wanted to say publicly, thank you to each and every one of you for your diligence and your professionalism. Thank you.
And let me just apologize to Julie, because Julie, I didn't realize that you were the 585 number until you. So
That's me.
Julie's number was over in the
Attendee.
attendees. And so I didn't realize that that was you, because so you've been there the whole time. I just needed to move you over.
Oh.
So can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
All right. All right. So I thank Mike for covering in my stead. Everything that he reported to you is exactly what I would have told you. And we are moving forward with the Paris reports and getting the compliance reports back from the companies that are receiving benefits through the IDA. So hopefully we'll get this buttoned up in a short time for 2018, and then successfully move into 2019's report. So any questions of me on anything?
No, I think we've
I
covered
think
it.
Commissioner Morton and his staff have been phenomenal and working with me and helping us to get where we are. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. So I make a motion to adjourn this meeting. If there are no more questions, no more new business. Okay. Roll call.
Did we lose Mike?
It looked like we lost Mike.
Oh, no. You get me and you lose Mike.
All right.
The mayor made a motion to adjourn the meeting. Do we have a second to that?
Yes.
Second.
Okay, thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you so much. I'm assuming no one is opposed to that, and we will connect again in June. Stay well.
Okay.
Meeting is
All right.
adjourned.
Everyone have a good day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.